Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 7 of Culture Speak, the art of talking about work. You made it. You made it. I made it. I haven't had a drink since I started recording all of these. I was just like, I'm just going to hammer these out, and then didn't realize how hard it would be. But here we are, putting it all together. I hope you've enjoyed. The series. Just a quick reminder: back in part 1, I said there were the 3 elements for sustained, vibrant culture, which is what when we're able to talk about culture. That's our goal: is sustained, vibrant culture, and that's committed executive support. 3 C's. Make it easy to remember. Committed executive support. So this is your executive team, your senior leadership team, whatever you want to call them. Being 100% committed to creating a great place to work. People always say, do you have to have everybody on the bus straight away? Not everybody. It helps, though. It helps. You can only have one skeptic. If you've got any cynics, forget it. It's never going to happen. You need to lose the cynics before you can actually create a great culture, because they'll always want to hold you back, and they'll always be right. And they'll always be looking for reasons not to do stuff. So, committed executive support, capable managers is your second C. So training managers on how to build and maintain great culture. And I've written and recorded so many things about middle managers. They are the difference between success and failure, and yet we just don't train them. If you gave them the skills that they are crying out for, everything would change. And then the last thing, which is what this whole series has been part of, is a common language. And a common language is often the easiest place to start, because the other two, committed executive support, takes time. Capable managers cost money. But this is something that you can all do. You can introduce this common language. If you've shared these videos, great. If you've talked about them, even better. If you've listened to the podcast, whatever, start putting this into practice, generating that common language. In fact, start talking to your peers, your other managers. Say, listen, this is what I've learned. If we can start doing this, we'll break down the silos. We really, really will. And the importance of that, of course, as I've mentioned before, is feedback. Is as teams, you want to be able to talk to each other about what you see, what you hear, what you need to do. You use it as an accountability tool. That's what we agreed. We need to ensure that we stay there. And also it's a reminder of what it is that we're trying to do. We're just one part of something bigger than us, trying to achieve that vision for the organization. Cultures are perpetual. They change all of the time. I've talked about the 5 cultures over the course of this series. Sometimes you can go through all 5 of those in a day. You can in a day. You can start toxic, and by the end, it's vibrant. That's how it feels, right? Because you've dealt with that one toxic element, and all of a sudden you start to build from there. But culture's perpetual, but you always get the culture that you choose to build. If it feels pleasant, you need to do something about it. If it feels stagnant, you need to do something about it. If it feels combatant, you need to do something about it. If it feels toxic, oh my God, you need to do something about it right now. But how do you find out? Throughout this series, I've been talking about, the quiz, the 5 cultures quiz that you can do to find out where you are right now. At an organization level, you can do pulse surveys. Too many organizations wait till the end of the year to do an engagement survey. And it's this huge deal, and it just doesn't need to be. It's overkill. You'll need to ask people about 3 or 4 questions to find out what it's really like. What's one thing that, on a scale of 0 to 10, what score would you give us? People love a score. This is kind of the net promoter score approach. What's one thing that we do well? What's one thing that we could improve? What's one idea you have for the future? Something along those lines. And if you do those little and often and ask different people every time, firstly, people don't feel overwhelmed by the engagement survey, especially if it's more than 5 questions, which they're never going to do. People are going to want to provide feedback. But also, if you've taken the time to define culture, there's a recognition that people are rating their own culture. That's when magic happens. I've been working with a team over the last year. And when they started, they had a fairly decent culture. They had 61% engagement score. So it was a little bit combatant, a little bit pleasant, a little bit combatant, but a good foundation to work on. We spent 2 days redefining the culture. So I took them on the process of redefining their culture. And at the end of those 2 days, I said, this is your culture. I facilitated a process, but this is what you decided. Here's all the elements of your culture, the pillars of your culture. It's up to you to protect this. Don't let any single person undermine this. And you collectively are responsible for positively evolving this culture to make sure that it stays great. People feel that sense of ownership. Their engagement score is now 83%. And the comments in the Pulse surveys are like, we need to do this, we need to do that. There's no finger pointing at leadership. There's none of that. None of that. It's all that we need to get better at this. We need to get better at that. And activity is best done little and often. I mentioned this in part 6, where I talked about vibrant cultures are very good at having a little program of events, working on certain things at certain times to keep the tires pumped up on their bike, make sure it never goes rusty. All these things are so important. What's some new knowledge you can provide? What's some new training that you can provide? What's a field trip, in inverted commas, that you could go on? What's an article that you can share? Do you have a book group? Do you listen to a podcast? What are the things that you can do to maintain that sense of vibrancy? Now, if you're telling people to do stuff, then of course it becomes a combatant culture. I'm telling you to do, you have to come on this night out. Whereas if you create something that people just genuinely want to be a part of, and you've given them agency over it, they're going to want to go. It's not rocket science. I wrote a blog and published it this week about a culture journey. It's one of the most overused metaphors. Oh, we're on a journey. If you've had no say in that journey, you don't want to go on it. If you're on this journey with other people, make sure that they're part of it. Everybody has a say in culture, everybody. And, when we give people agency to define the conditions for the team to be successful, everything changes. Everything changes. So thank you again for taking the time to watch this 7-part series. And listen, if you feel I can be of any help to you in any way, head over to my website, colindellis.com. You can find everything that you need to know there. Otherwise, as I said at the start, I really hope that you've enjoyed it. I would love, if you've got any feedback, I would love to hear it. That would be fabulous. And good luck. Good luck putting it all into action.